Hello everybody, Carleen here. Hope you're all okay. Welcome to my channel. Thank you to those who have continued to subscribe, like my videos and just sit and watch really. I'm always really grateful for anybody who interacts with me in that way, because as far as I'm concerned, I didn't realise that anyone really would, to be honest with you, but they have, and I'm really grateful for it. So thank you very much for continuing to share my videos with other people so they can kind of understand this life. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing and commenting as well. I'd love it if a lot more of you who I don't actually know, because a lot of the people who comment on my videos, I genuinely know them in real life. It would be great if some people who I didn't know in real life would comment on here too, so other people can understand your story as well. I get a lot of messages in my DMs on Instagram from women who I don't know, who have said I've helped them and they can relate to my videos because their children are similar to Deshaun or exactly the same. And that's a beautiful thing too. So where I get it in my DMs, I'd love it to be in my comment sections as well. So, other mums who watch this, who live the life that we do, can understand that literally you are not on your own. There's a lot of us mums and dads out there, and I'm sorry dads if there's any autism dads who are watching and I never refer to you. It's not that I'm forgetting about you, it's just because I'm an autism mum, so I'm just speaking from an autism mum side. Does that make sense? So don't think I'm leaving you out for a second. I'm really not. And I apologise if you feel that way, because I always refer to like autism mums all the time, but it's just because that's what I know. That's what I live. So that's why I just speak for autism mums. So I'm not leaving you guys out at all, because there's a few autism dads that I followed on Instagram, and they are incredible, like single dads, and they've got like 2-3 children who have special needs, autism and other things, and they do incredible jobs. So please don't think that I'm being like out of order, like leaving you out. I'm really not. It's just I can only speak for an autism mum, because that's what I am. So today's video is called Interactions at School and Outings. So it's basically going to be speaking about how Deshaun's cracking on at school, really. I had a word with Senko the other day, and she gave me a list of things as to what he does at school, because obviously I don't know, I'm not there. However, she is, and his one-to-ones are. And they're with him daily, so they are the ones who can give me the information that I need. And she was kind enough to write some stuff down for me to tell me how he's cracking on, so I was able to do this video for you all today. And also the outings that I'm going to be talking about is like when we have been out like to eat or something like that, because as I've spoke about before, we don't do that often, but if we have, I'm just going to tell you how it's been and what it's been like as an experience for myself, because I'm pretty certain other parents out there have experienced some not very nice times when you've took your child out for food and stuff. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is when Deshaun first started big school. Obviously coming straight from nursery was somewhere that he was like super comfortable with. Like he started to get the hang of it. As I've spoken about before, when he, it was so strange, like when he got diagnosed, it was like everything kind of fell into place after that. Nothing was in place before that. It's like the puzzle pieces were all jotted around, because obviously I didn't know that he had it. So it was crazy, like when the puzzle pieces were put in place, and then I realised and found out the diagnosis that he does have autism spectrum disorder. It was then that like everything started coming together. It was really weird, in a good way weird. So while he was at nursery, obviously he was became super comfortable there. Obviously he got used to and recognised the teachers. He recognised the teaching assistants. He recognised the children. So now he's got to come from nursery and transition to a bigger school with loads more children and different faces of teachers and stuff like that. And I would just like to speak about this quickly as well, is that his transitioning period, because a few mums have asked me what that was like for him. Obviously he finished nursery, I think it was like May time, and then he would still go here and there, but obviously like the breakup point was like July, wasn't it? So obviously then you get 6 weeks holiday, then they start school in September. And so when he started school, before he started school, the school, like the school that he went to was absolutely amazing. And what they decided to do was that they done a thing during the holidays where they would let Deshaun come there like a couple times a week to do like fun days and stuff. So then he would recognise the school. So when he came in September, there would be a comfortable transition. It wasn't like he'd go there and like he was like caught off guard. Do you know what I mean? They didn't want that for him. They wanted him to come into there comfortably. So during the holidays, we'd go to the school and have fun days and like have a walk around with other children as well, where he would recognise like the hall, classrooms, the reception, like he'd recognise the playground. So we'd done all these things throughout the holidays. So when he was able to come there in September, it was great. It was like he was straight in. He knew where he was going. He knew where his classroom was. So we knew the direction he had to walk in. Because as I've spoken about before, you know, he's used to going one in a particular way. So if he doesn't go that way, then he would have a meltdown, bless him, because he doesn't understand why things are changing. Autistic children struggle with change. So that was what was incredible about doing this transitioning thing throughout the holidays, so that he was comfortable with going to big school. So obviously when he's gotten there, he had an idea of who the teachers were, a little bit of the children, because they would come along in the holidays as well. So that was kind of cool, I thought, was that we kind of got into it and kind of somewhat smoothly. Like he was comfortable, bless him, a little bit. But, you know, I knew that he would get better with it. So basically, when he started the big school, a lot of the way he was talking to everybody was like, I've told you that he has echolalia, where he repeats himself. He's literally like a little parrot all day, but it's the cutest little parrot you ever meet, yeah? So when he started school, it was a lot of that, obviously. You know, when he was talking to adults and sometimes children, because he didn't really interact with them. So a lot of it was like, learnt language, really. Whatever he heard, he would copy. Didn't greatly play with the children at all. His Senkos told me. You know, he was just kind of doing his own thing in his own little world. You know, I've spoken about before, they don't really interact with other children. And that would be how he would interact really with them. This was only in the beginning though, because obviously he had to like get his way in. He'd literally speak to his teacher, she said, in like ways that like it was like a strangely like a full conversation, but realistically it wasn't a full conversation because it's all learned language. So anything he was talking to her about would be like whatever he's heard on his cartoons and stuff. He does that a lot, even till this day. You know, everything he speaks about is off the TV. It's never nothing that he genuinely knows. Do you understand? It's all what he's heard and what he's watched. And then he'll go into a place where it's like he will speak about stuff that you kind of don't understand, and you're thinking, what's he talking about? Because like it's like mumbo jumbo, like talking like it's like he's trying to get it out so quick that it doesn't come out right, and it comes out all crazy sounding. And yeah, you genuinely don't know what he's talking about. And bless him, he would find himself getting frustrated because obviously I think he somewhat recognized that like you didn't understand him a little bit. So obviously when he's trying to talk to you, you're not understanding what he's saying, so you can't give him what he wants. Do you know what I mean? So that would have him have a meltdown, bless him, because he's obviously struggling in that moment to be able to. It's a difficult one, really. I feel sorry for him because it's like he wants to tell you what he wants to tell you, but he can't. So yeah, his teacher would say that then that's when he would get frustrated. I think that now it's getting better. Like, do you know what I mean? He tries his hardest and stuff. You know, from what I've been told at the school, and also he does this at home too. Like he's saying things now, but he'll speak to you like, so he won't say, oh, you know, like another child would say, mummy, I need to go toilet. That's a good one. He wouldn't say, mummy, I need to go toilet. He'd say, mummy, Deshaun toilet. Yeah, that's what he says. He doesn't say he'll say Deshaun, right? So he'll say like, you know, a child would say, mummy, can I have a biscuit, please? He'd say, mummy, Deshaun biscuit. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how he talks. I think it's great, personally. I think it's the cutest thing ever. But obviously, in the real world, if you like, you know, that's not how people talk, like, but that's how Deshaun talks. So when he's at school, he'll say these things, and he'll say cute things. His teacher said, like, he'll say hug please. So it's 2 words he'll use. Do you know what I mean? Or what else has he said? He'll say, oh, because they have a snack at school sometimes, and he really likes pretzels. I know, so random, right? It's like, pretzels, I would have never have liked that as a child, but now I love pretzels as an adult. Now it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, so they have different types of snacks sometimes, and one of them's pretzels, and he'll say pretzels please, like it's just 2 words. Do you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes he can say a sentence, but again, it's a learned sentence. So anything he's heard, he can tell you in a sentence because that's how he's heard it. But when he's talking for himself, it'll be like, you know, mummy Deshaun biscuit, or mummy toilet, or, you know, Deshaun toilet, or however he wants to say it. But it's usually like 2 or 3 words. But at least I understand what he wants. So I'll go do it. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, all right, come on then. And then he'll repeat it all the way there. Mummy Deshaun toilet, or mummy toilet, mummy toilet. And I'm like, yeah, we're going. So yeah, stuff like that really. But my thing is, at least he's still communicating. Do you know what I mean? It's not the greatest, but he's still doing it. You know what I mean? So I'll let that slide. I'll always let it slide. You know what I mean? Unless it's something more important that he needs to genuinely learn, then we will. But I'm happy with that. Before, he weren't even speaking greatly at all. Like, do you know what I mean? So at least it's understood now, you know? I think that's great. He'll call on you to get your attention as well, like, which I think is good too. So he's not just, like, for instance, if we're in a queue outside school, waiting to go in the morning, there's a couple other children who are coming up there, and there's, I forgot the little girl's name now, but anyway, there's a little girl that comes up to him every morning, and she'll go, hi Deshaun, and he'll go, hello, and then he'll go, high five, and he's starting to do these little things now, and she'll go and high five him, but it's like, he wouldn't have done that before. He would never have done that before. So for me, that's such great progress, because it's little things like that I appreciate from Deshaun. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's really trying. Like, that is the cutest thing. And then they'd high five each other, and then she'll go and pick him a flower. And, you know, I don't know about any of your children, but Deshaun loves the outdoors. Like, he'd rather go to a park and go and look for things like acorns and stuff like that than play with a toy in the park, like a football. He's not asked about that. He prefers to go and look at nature and stuff. Like, there's a park near where we live called Town Park, Queen's Park, and we go there and he'll be picking up acorns, and he'll be picking up leaves and flowers and smelling them. That's Deshaun. It's it's the cutest thing. I think that's lovely that he's like that. You know, and there's loads of squirrels in that park, and they'll actually come up to you if you feed them as well. And they come up to him, and he'll sit there and watch them and like follow them and stuff. Like, that's what he does. So, you know, the interactions from him, the way he is, I think it's the most beautifulest thing to go to a park, and he's not bothered about swings and stuff like that. He'd rather go, you know, and pick up leaves and bring the leaves home and sticks and stuff. Like, that's all he's into. But I've had to curb that a little bit, because, as I said before, when he does things one time, he wants to do it all the time. So then because I've told you he's a chewer as well, he puts things in his mouth. So before, I would allow him to bring the sticks home and stuff, but then he started chewing them, so I couldn't. So I had to stop that. Do you know what I mean? So I can't have him doing that. Leaves and stuff, flowers, he'd bring them all home, and then eventually they'd sit there for a day or two, and then he'd start chewing them. So I had to like stop that altogether, and I felt really bad for it. But it had to be done, because I can't have him doing that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's coming along. He's doing great. You know, he'll copy others, and you know, he likes to clap a lot. So he'll sit there clapping, and he tries to interact as best as he can. I think he's doing a good job, to be honest with you. What else has she wrote down here? He's very vocal. If he doesn't like something, he will say it, and he does at home as well. He definitely does. He say, Deshaun, no, do that. Like, he says stuff like that. I think that's so cute that he says that. He says, Deshaun, no, do that. Mummy, Deshaun, no, do that. And stuff like that. And I just think it's great. I think it's the cutest thing in the world. But no, he's doing really well. He's trying to say like different things in different ways. And yeah, I can't be more proud of him, to be honest with you. So that's the little notes that his teachers give me. She's given me a few more, but you know, what I've told you is what's more important. And actually, she said that he is interacting with other children now. He does this thing, like I've said before, where he'll go, mummy, 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 until I answer him. So I answer him straight away, because if I'm busy, he's calling me, he's saying it 100 times because he can't help it because he's got echolalia. But at school, he does this with the children. So his teacher says, like, he'll keep calling their name, and sometimes they don't mean it to ignore him, or sometimes children do mean it, do you know, like that, because they're children, like sometimes they can't be bothered, like, so, and he'll keep calling their name. So at least he's doing that, because before he wasn't even bothering with other children at all, not at all. So the fact that he's even calling their name, like, I'm so happy with that. The fact that he's trying to interact with them some way, in his own way, he's still doing it. So for me, still happy with it. You know, he'll keep getting better. He'll just keep getting better. Another thing I want to talk about was outings, when we've had to go out sometimes, or whatever the case, whether it's been in the past. Because when he was a bit smaller, I used to go out with him because I used to think, you know, he's only little, it's okay. But he still have his meltdowns and stuff, you know what I mean? So, yeah, when I'd go out, whether it was to friends' houses, when he was a baby, we had a lot of christenings and weddings to go to. It was constantly me having to hold him, would never let me put him down, clinging to me. If I tried to put him down, it was meltdowns all the time because he wanted me to constantly hold him, especially when he was somewhere that he didn't recognise. And I thought that was understandable. I think it's understandable now, because now I know that he's got autism. At the time I didn't know, so I'd be very stressed out. Sometimes I'd like to leave early, or sometimes I wouldn't go at all. I'll be honest with you, I make excuses up and say, you know, I couldn't go, because it was a lot to deal with by myself. And you know, I could never relax. I was always holding him the whole time, or catering to him. I was always catering to him. My other friends, as children, were in the pram, eating a snack or whatever's, drinking their bottle. They were fine, while the mum was, you know, mingling with other mums and having conversations and stuff. I couldn't do that. Deshaun was constantly being held by me, you know, and I would always say, I've got a friend called Donna, and she's a great friend, and I'd be at hers, and I'd say, I'm going, Don. And she'll be like, oh, don't go, Kai, don't be silly. Like, why are you going for? She'd say, you know, you're fine. Like, it's okay. Because Deshaun would be screaming. I remember one time we was at hers, and like, it was a lovely summer's day. There was loads of us in the garden. A few of her other friends was there, their children. And I remember Deshaun was a lot smaller then. He was in the pushchair, and he was crying. Every time I put him down, he would cry. And I went in the kitchen, and she was like, you're right. And I was like, I think I'm going to go, Don. And she was like, don't be silly. What are you going for? And she probably won't remember that, but I do. And she was like, don't be silly. He's Carlene. She goes, don't worry about no one else. She was like, it's fine. She was like, he's all right. Listen, he's fine. If you want me to help you with him, I will. Like, don't worry about it. And I stayed for a bit longer than I went, a bit later. But yeah, it's just because I'm so concerned about other people. Like, when I'm around my friends, they get it, but like strangers don't. As I've said before, they judge and stuff. And so I'd always leave early, going out for food and stuff. I remember one time I went to a restaurant, and you know, I was explaining to the lady the situation, and she was like, listen, if you come here again, she was like, you just come earlier, and I'll place you on a table out the way where you feel comfortable. And I thought that was so nice of her to say that, because she was like thinking about me. A lot of the time they'll just place you anywhere. She was like, no, I'll sit you out a bit further away from everyone else if that's what you want, and you know, then whatever's going on your table is going on, you know what I mean? She was like, it's fine. And I thought that was lovely. But you know, oftentimes in restaurants it's not how it goes, and it's like you know, you have to be sat where you're sat, and a lot of the tables are quite close together. So when the child would have his meltdowns, because he didn't recognise the place, everything sounds louder to him. There's a lot of people walking around. That's too much for him to take. So it was a bit more difficult because, like I say, the tables are a bit more closer. You're a bit more closer to people. And I used to think to myself, well, people don't want to be bothered by a child screaming, do they? When they've come out for dinner, they're probably on a date or something, you know, like something like that. Probably the only time they've got a break from their children, and they're coming out and having my child screaming. But it wasn't my fault. It wasn't Deshaun's fault. It couldn't be helped, you know. So a lot of the time I'd either not go out for food and we'd get a takeaway at home, or if we did go out, we'd come home earlier. Well, it's been quite a while now since we've been out for food with everything that's going on in the world. But when we have gone out, and when I've gone for lunch with my mom or something and I've took the boys, Deshaun will want to get up off the table now and go and say hello to everybody. And I'm like, Deshaun, come here. And he's like, hello. So he goes straight up to him, right beside him. And they're like, oh, hello. You know, like that. But I thought that was cute. So I'd let him do that. Then I'd make him come back to the table, because I'd think, right, Carlene, don't be so stressed out. Don't be so onto him. Like, let him go and do that a little bit. Maybe that might help. You know what I mean? Because then if he goes and does that, he's obviously comfortable doing that. And then he'll come back to the table and he'll be okay. And then that would be what would happen. He'd come back. I'll be like, come on then. So everything has to be in an upbeat voice. Otherwise, he gets upset. So I'll be like, good boy. Right, come on then. Come on get your dinner. And then he'd come back to me, sit down, but then he'd want to keep doing it. That's what then starts now. Do you know what I mean? One of those ones where it's like, in his head, he's like, right, now I have to get up again. So, and then when I'm telling him obviously no, that's when the meltdowns would happen. So yeah, it's gotten better, because now he's trying to interact with people. Before, he couldn't be around people and would have his meltdowns and get really, really upset. Whereas now he does the opposite. So everything does get better, Mum. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know, we have to go through the bad to get the good. And trust me, the good does come. And when it does come, as I've spoken about, I always have solutions at the end of my videos. Like, it, you know, he wasn't interacting at school. Now he is. It's overly done now, but he's still doing it. The outings, before, they were not very good. And they still aren't that great, but at least they're a teeny bit better than what they were. We're always going to have the bad part where it feels like, oh, is this ever going to end, and stuff like that. But trust me, it really does come to a place where it's like, it's that bit better than what it was before. We've all had the times where it was like, oh, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with it. It's too stressful. We cry, we get sad, and we get upset because we think this is the life we have, but is it ever going to get any better? And I'm here to reassure you that it does. I swear to you, it does. Like, it does. In baby steps, though. You can't expect it to go overnight and just get better like that, because it does not work like that. But it does happen. And when it does, it's such a great thing. It really is. So please, mums, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There genuinely is. It's such a cliche thing to say. Like, I love these type of sayings, though, because to me, they're all so true. Because there genuinely is. There really, really is. Again, don't expect it to happen overnight, because you'll be waiting a while. It does not go like that. But when I see where I've come from to where I am now with Deshaun, he's 6 and he's at this place, I don't have no complaints. And I'm super pleased and really, really happy and really, really, really proud of him, because I just didn't think we'd come to this place. I honestly didn't. When I was in the deep place that I was in before, I honestly thought it would never get any better. But it has. It has. As I say, it's baby steps, but it's still happening, okay? So please remember that. And please don't worry so much. Don't worry so much, because it does get better. Okay, so that's my video for today. I hope that was helpful. Some of you say you can relate a lot to a lot of things, and whether it be helpful or not, I'm just here telling my story. That's all I can do. Okay? So it's a lovely day today. It's actually Easter holidays right now. So I hope that you all have a great day. I'm going to go down to the park with a few people, and we're going to have a meet up. Social distancing, of course, with our children. And I'm going to take Deshaun's new bike down there with him. God, don't know how that's going to go, but Dante will help me with him. And yeah, we're going to have a nice few hours out while we can, because it's meant to get miserable in a few days, I think. So I'm going to make the most of it. So thank you again for watching, listening. Please share, please like, please subscribe, please press the notification bell. And I will be back with another video soon. So take care of yourselves, love each other, and be there for one another. And please always check on each other. Please just check on each other. It's very important in these times to make sure that you're all there for each other. Okay? So take care, love you guys, and I'll speak to you soon.